All right, it's Sunday, April 5th, Easter Sunday. Spending it in Thessaloniki, in the north of Greece, in Macedon. We start off the day in Kalimbaka. We had seen Matera the day before, but we had an early wake-up call, so on the bus at 7:30. Then drove for about 2 hours to Dion, which was a Macedonian religious sanctuary, or like group of sanctuaries, I guess. That was right at the foot of Mount Olympus, which was pretty cool.
Got off there, spent about an hour walking around the site just on our own, looking at what was there, which honestly is not too much. Just a lot of rocks that apparently have great historical significance. But then we met back up with Professor Christensen, and he gave us some insight into what these rocks meant. Apparently a lot.
Yeah, so the big takeaway, I guess, was that the Macedonians had very different building practices than the Athenians. So the Athenians obviously build great temples like the Parthenon, and at other places like Sunyan, whereas the Macedonians really don't want to do that. So they just build these small individual sanctuaries. What was there? Like Sanctuary of Zeus,
Demeter,
Isis.
two to Zeus.
Yeah, right, two to Zeus.
It's amazing, though, to think that this was like the center of religious activity for the empire that conquered most of the known world, and most of the buildings were probably about the size of a normal-sized American house, if that. A couple, like the main sanctuary to Zeus, didn't even have a building. It was just a rock altar. So it was pretty interesting to see the differences between that and the other Greek city-states. But a couple days later, we're going to Pella, where apparently the Macedonian royalty spent all of their money building their own palaces and tombs. So we'll get to see what kind of massive building they did there.
Yeah. So after we got done at Dion, we got back on the bus and drove for another 2 hours and arrived in Thessaloniki, which is a city of about 1 million people. So we sort of walked around the city a little bit, got up like onto the hill overlooking the city and stood up on the walls and looked over the bay. So that was really cool. Then we had an authentic Armenian dinner.
Can't really tell what the difference between Armenian and Greek food is.
Pretty much the same thing.
But apparently this place was Armenian. It was delicious either way. Very cheap, actually, as that's kind of the running theme of food here. But they're very nice and gently corrected us on our terrible Greek pronunciations.
Yeah.
And then after that, knowing that we had the next day off at 11:30, we kind of all decided to immediately go to bed.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So see everybody later.